For decades, Australia was celebrated and admired for its economic prosperity and political stability. But today, this vibrant nation is fighting against a growing storm of challenges. From the ripples of economic uncertainty to the harsh realities of geopolitical dependencies and environmental crises, Australia's journey has taken an unexpected turn. Australia's transition from a fledgling British colony in the late 19th century to a robust, independent nation in the 21st is a journey of transformation and resilience. Today, as the nation faces economic slowdown and rising inflation, its history provides a lens through which we can understand its current difficulties. In the late 19th century, the backbone of Australia's economy was upheld by agriculture and mining. The gold rush era, beginning in the 1850s, brought an influx of migrants and wealth, shaping Australia's early economic landscape. However, the transformation towards industrialization was far from smooth. The early 20th century saw Australia battling the effects of the Great Depression, which significantly impacted its economic stability. The echoes of these challenges resonate today as Australia confronts a new economic crisis. High inflation and a slowing economy are reminiscent of past financial struggles, and while global factors like the ongoing war in Ukraine have exacerbated these problems by disrupting energy markets, Australia's unique circumstances add another layer of complexity. You see, despite its vast natural resources and potential to unlock renewable energy, Australia still maintains a strong reliance on coal-fired power. Post-World War II, Australia rapidly industrialized, with coal playing a significant role in powering the nation, driving exports and shaping its post-war economy. However, as the world moves towards renewable energy and nations sign agreements such as the one at COP28 in Dubai, aiming to phase out all fossil fuels, Australia's coal dependency faces a reckoning, economically, politically, and environmentally. Despite the vast potential for renewable energy, Australia's historical reliance on coal and the significant economic benefits it has brought are proving hard to move away from. But before you think this is an isolated economic issue fueled by environmentalists, think again. First, there is a long-held national mindset that coal is a reliable and stable source of energy, a perspective that has further been ingrained in light of the events in Ukraine destabilizing global gas supplies. But more importantly, Australia has a personal interest in maintaining its coal industry, as it is the world's largest exporter of coal and iron ore. Needless to say, mining and exporting coal has thus also been a key source of revenue and employment. Thus, any politician proposing giving up on coal is also flirting with political suicide. Given this, you can understand why the government has been, let's say, reluctant to transition away from the coal industry. And then, of course, there is the money. You see, large companies like BHP Billiton have lobbied extensively for political parties that support coal mining, spending $525,000 in 2021 alone. And Glencore, one of Australia's largest coal producers, was caught in a national scandal in 2019 for secretly running a multi-million-dollar project aimed at shifting public and government attitudes towards coal, rather than, say, using all that money to recultivate land that has been so extensively destroyed that Australia now ranks 5th in the world in deforestation and biodiversity loss. But politics also plays a more surprising role. Australia's political landscape has always been dynamic, to say the least, if not bordering on chaotic. Part of this has been shaped by its colonial past and rapidly evolving societal values. In the late 19th century, the push for federation and the formation of a distinct Australian identity laid the groundwork for its political system. However, it has often been characterized by divisions, instability, and in some cases, dueling, indecent exposure, extortion, contempt, fraud, perjury, and even murder. There are also many political parties represented in the Australian Parliament. Depending on the outcome of a federal election, any number of parties could agree to form a a coalition in either government or opposition. For example, politicians from various parties can form alliances over a common cause, or between best friends. Politicians from the same state or territory. Even crossbenchers, who aren't part of any major party, can decide to have their own party where the category is influencing legislation. It's a bit like the jungle of a very cliquey high school, where everybody is in their own subgroup while also being the leader of another group, and everyone is outvoted by the big guys, known as the coalition, but they don't always agree on everything either. These political challenges, marked by instability and a lack of consensus on key issues like economic reform, immigration, the refugee crisis, or the climate one for that matter, are a continuation of historical trends that haven't changed for decades. The nation's multi-party system, while reflective of a diverse society, often leads to fragmented policies and difficulty in addressing pressing national issues, making it more and more difficult to create any kind of parliamentary unity and stable solutions. And this is a big problem because as countries around the world commit to net zero initiatives and set renewable climate targets, Australia is faced with increasing pressure to reduce its reliance on coal, both as an energy source and key export. As a result, the mining sector itself is facing decline, while trade partnerships are being forcefully reshaped as demand falls, risking diplomatic strain and trade deficits. Which brings us, of course, to China. As Australia's most significant two-way trading partner, the relationship with China is not just substantial, it's foundational. Australian companies have a strong operational presence in China, but the real game changer lies in the vast investments Chinese firms have made in Australian mining. This isn't just a business transaction, it's a lifeline for China, heavily dependent on Australian resources to power its critical economic sectors. Moreover, Australia's rich multicultural fabric includes a significant Chinese diaspora, adding another layer of depth to its ties with China. These aren't just diplomatic relations, they're woven into the societal and cultural threads of the nation. The China-Australia Free Trade Agreement, inked in 2015, was a landmark move, designed to enhance market access and slash tariffs, further cementing this economic interdependence. With coal as a prime export to China, the question arises, why upset a seemingly beneficial agreement? However, there's more beneath the surface. Strategically, Australia's alignment with China is a delicate balancing act. The growing bilateral cooperation has sparked a mix of reactions domestically. The surge in Chinese immigration has stirred debates over job security, cultural assimilation, and the ethical implications of Australia's ties with China, especially given China's expanding geopolitical influence in the region. These concerns reflect a broader narrative, one where economic interests, cultural dynamics, and geopolitical strategies are in constant, sometimes uneasy, conversation. In fact, we uncovered quite a lot about this when we dived into the topic of immigration issues in Australia on Ground News, our favorite, unbiased guide to the news, which empowers us to freely navigate the complexities of today's world with well-informed, independent thinking. If you're interested in checking it out, we left a link for you in the description. Earlier this year, Australia's domestic spy chief also uncovered that an academic, recruited by Chinese intelligence, was removed from the country after attempting to infiltrate a research institution. But despite growing resentment and skepticism among the Australian public, a series of key diplomatic meetings, including a meeting between Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese and Chinese President Xi Jinping in November, suggest things are being overlooked. Getting back on track. Perhaps for Australia, this is particularly tactical and not just for trade reasons. Both China and Australia are members of the ARF, a regional security forum that focuses on political and security issues in the Asia-Pacific region, and APEC, a forum for promoting economic cooperation and trade liberalization in the Asia-Pacific region. And rising tensions in the Indo-Pacific region place Australia in the heart of key geopolitical issues today. As the only Western country in the region, it has the potential to help shape and bridge diplomacy between the two sides, helping to ensure regional stability. Australia Australia could be keeping its enemy closer. But crucially, as China has risen to a key global player, it has entered a rivalry with the US. Australia has its own long-standing alliance with the US, which was strengthened during the Cold War. During this time, Australia also actively supported and provided assistance to anti-communist movements in the Asia-Pacific region, including through military aid to Malaysia and Indonesia. Australia also officially recognized Taiwan's sovereignty, a stance that changed in 1972, though to the annoyance of China, it still maintains economic ties with Taiwan till this day. So, despite strengthening its relations with China post-Cold War, the relationship remained conflicted. For example, Australia decided to ban Chinese telecommunication giant Huawei from participating in its 5G network rollout, citing national security concerns around microchips, a ban also imposed by the US, who restricted semiconductor exports to China, citing national security concerns. Australia's recent move to strengthen its economic bonds with China could be seen as a strategic play, aimed at leveraging the benefits of this relationship to navigate its own crises. As Australia grapples with economic instability, maintaining a positive rapport with its key importer, China, becomes crucial. This relationship is not just about sustaining almost a third of Australia's global trade, it's about preserving its sixth-largest foreign investment source and securing a stronger foothold in the ever-expanding Chinese market. Makes you wonder, though, what game China is playing, doesn't it? More on that in another video coming soon. For now, check out our next video linked here. See you there.